Hi, how are you? My name's Abigail Belinsky, and I am in your course. I'm excited for this class. I can't believe the strange start that we've had already as far as the first two classes, but I'm glad that you were able to create that video. I really enjoyed watching it and learning about you. I already feel like I got to know you a little bit, and it makes it, I think, the transition easy going into next week. So luckily I had an online course before we got to use Kaltura, and so I'm a little familiar, and so I figured I would do a video so you could kind of see me, get to know my personality a little bit better than just through a Google Doc. I am in school right now. I'm a teacher at Delsea High School down in Franklinville. Luckily this morning I start my prep period, so I was able to jump on and do this quick video for you. But that kind of will start with who I am. This is my last course in level 1 for the school counseling program. I'm loving it so far. I know it sounds so corny, but I truly look forward to going to class each week, and I think that's really a test to the profession and to my love for what I'm going into. I'm currently, like I said, I'm a special education teacher, grade at the high school, so I have grades 11th and 12th. I'm in charge of what's called the SAVE program, so it stands for Scholastic Adaptive Vocational Education, and it is a program for students with multiple disabilities. So I have a really, really special job. My students are amazing, and it's draining emotionally and physically, and while it's probably the most rewarding thing that I've ever done, watching these students make progress in every aspect of their life, and it's still I would like kind of somewhere else to go over the next 30 years. So this I guess I'm kind of covering all 4 of these questions from the slides, but let me go back to my childhood, all over the place. So when I was a child, I knew I always wanted to be in education. My mother was a special education teacher, and my dad was an attorney, and they both were able to be at every single field hockey game, swim meet, dance recital. They picked me up from school every single day because I went to Pittman High School, which is similar to Collingswood in that it's very small. They didn't miss a thing, and their jobs allowed them to have that flexibility, especially with my mom in education. She was able to get done early enough to be able to come and see my sister and I, and that is one of the biggest draws, I think, of education, having their summers off with us. We just had such a wonderful childhood memories of her always being around. So I think that's always a big draw to education. But also my passion is in special education, and making a difference in special students' lives. And so I always know I wanted to do it. I never changed career paths. I went to college at Westchester University. I double majored in special education and dance. And I got hired here at Delsea before I even graduated. I was 22 years old. I got hired to start the SAVE program, and I've been here for 9 years. And so the program has just blossomed. We've graduated, kids over the years who we've helped prepare them for life after graduation, gotten them jobs, independent living skills. It's a huge component of our program, which also goes hand in hand with a little bit with school counseling, especially this course with college and career readiness. I told you already, my influences in my life were my parents and my mother. Obviously, I was a good student. Not obviously, but I was a good student, and obviously my influences were my teachers, my counselors, my administrators. Going to Pittman, it was a small school, and I had really, really, really good relationships and positive relationships with all of the adults around me, and I always knew that I wanted to have that type of impact on students. So those were major influences in my life, and like I said, I never ever second guessed the path that I was going down. I never thought maybe I should be doing something else. I have dove in 100%, and I absolutely love being in education. I love being with my students. I'm so happy with the decision that I made. So I never steered either way. I never took a different career path. Obviously, along the way, I did have small jobs. I was a waitress. I've taught dance. I've always had, the side hustle to make sure that I was able to support all of what I wanted to do. I made sure that I always tried to choose jobs that would help me in my the long-term job of being in education. For example, after I got my 60 credits in college, I jumped right into being a substitute teacher so I could get that hands-on experience in the classroom. In 3 years, I want to say I should be done with this program in about a year and a half, and I would love to transition into the counselor role. I actually already have my master's degree. I got it from Wilmington about 5 years ago in school leadership. So I really wanted to go into that path of administration. I'm a go-getter, and I was looking forward to that. And now I kind of put the brakes on it. I'm only 31, and I know I still have 30 years probably left in education, and to jump into administration at this young of an age, I figured I still have the rest of my career and life ahead of me, and maybe I want to do something still in education without transitioning over to that administrative role. And that is when I thought about school counseling, because I could still be a part of the school and be a part of the students. But with this classroom being so demanding, like I said, emotionally and physically, it would get me out a way to get out of the classroom, but still be able to be a part of these children's lives. So within the SAFE program, I teach a career transitioning and life skills class. We do a lot of transitioning skills and independent skills to help them transition into life after Delsea High School. So sometimes our students will stay until they're 21. Sometimes our students will choose to go to a different post-graduation 18 to 21 program, and some will just completely go into the workforce depending upon their levels. Someone's coming in. Hold on, please. Hi. Okay, resume. This is, I guess, one of the flaws of doing this in school. You just had a student pop in. Sorry to pause it. I was saying that I was talking about how I really would like to transition into the counseling role, but having that career life skills class as part of our SAVE program has allowed me to. Someone's back? Sure, that sounds good. Perfect. Thanks, Nazir. Interruption again. Crazy after 2 snow days off. I'm sorry. This is like the raw me, which I guess is kind of fun. But I have had the opportunity to help watch these students grow and prepare them for whatever it is, do some career inventory searches. I've created a work program within our SAVE program, so our students with disabilities are able to go out into the community with a job coach once or twice a week and practice hands-on skills at a pizza parlor, a nursing home, or a restaurant, and obtain these different skills that they'll need for the job. So I've definitely had my foot in the door as far as preparing students for college and career, and so this course specifically really excites me about the whole school counseling position. So I created like a little timeline. Let me grab it. Okay, so here's my timeline, and I'm going to upload it as well. But so I'm familiar with Katora, but I'm not as tech savvy as you as far as being able to create a timeline on the internet. So I just simply made it on this paper. But I'll go over it. So it starts in 2000. So in the year 2000 was probably my first job. I was a freshman in high school, and gosh, I'm sorry. I bet you this being a school counselor is like this, with people constantly in and out. It's flattering, and you want to help them, and I'm always available. But then when you want to get something done, I'm like, what do you want? Okay. Back to 2000. I was a freshman in high school, and my first job I was a student worker, and I worked in the graphic arts department. I was really involved in that class, and so I was a student worker in the summer. We had a really good department where the teacher, Mr. Sheridan, he would help create the yearbook. He would create playbills and programs for local like football, booster clubs, plays in the area, and so I got paid minimum wage and worked all summer. It was really great because it was my first job. It was really close to home. My parents felt safe with me there, and it was a hard gig to get, so it was flattering that I was one of the only 2 students chosen for this coveted job. My next job was in 2005, so I was a senior in high school, and it was a waitress because I had turned 18, but it was at the local country club, and so I was able to cater banquets and weddings, and that was really fun and good experience. That was a lot different than the student worker at Pimmin High School, because when I was working at the high school, I didn't interact with a lot of people or customers. It was just myself and the teacher and another student. But as a waitress, I really had to have those, interpersonal skills where I had to talk to people and customers and socialize and be a good server. So I was able to gain a lot of skills on that job. In 2007, this is my sophomore year in college. After I received my 60 credits, I was a substitute teacher. That was great practice because while I was doing a lot of internships and practicums at Westchester for teaching, this really gave me that hands-on experience as far as starting to gain classroom management skills and really get my foot in the door with different schools in the area. Throughout this whole entire time, I've been a dance teacher. So I started when I was 17, and I was a student teacher when I was about 15 in year 2000. But when I turned 17, they gave me a full-time position, and I'm still teaching dance to this day. I'm so busy. And this was great because I always had students from ages 2 to 18, small class sizes, large class sizes, all different types of styles of dance. And I really think this helped mold me into the type of teacher I am today. Sometimes educators just have it or you just don't. And I can see that with some of the student teachers that I've had, where they might be very smart and great lesson plans, but you could just tell from minutes within meeting them or with their personality or even watching them, I'm just like, oh my goodness, like there's just something that you can't teach. You just have to have that personality, that spark, and that handle on classroom management. And I think that being a dance teacher at such a young age, that really was able to help me kind of gain those skills. I always say there's some of the best students can be, the worst teachers, or not worse, that's probably not the best use of words, and some of the best teachers probably didn't even make up the best students. So you can go either way. When I was in college, I also picked up a receptionist job at a hair salon. I did it like 2 days a week, and while this was not the field I wanted to go into, I had no experience in this field, but answering phones, utilizing technology was a great way to gain those type of skills that I didn't have that could help me in the future with any job. And then, like I said before, when I was a senior in college, I got hired even before I graduated here at Delsea High School to start the SAVE program, and I've been here as an educator and a teacher ever since. So this is my path. I think that each of these jobs have played a big role in making up the type of person that I am today. You can tell that I've had a whole different spectrum of jobs, and I've always been a hard worker and a go-getter. I've always not just I've never been overwhelmed. I've always just kind of just kept saying, I'm a yes, I'll do that, I'll do that, I'll do that. Here at the school, even now, I don't have all of these little jobs, but here at the school, you can kind of look, just if I can turn it, you can see all of trophies and accolades. I am, in addition to the teacher, I'm the choreographer and assistant director at the school musical. We just finished Beauty and the Beast. Woo! I'm the head girls tennis coach in the fall. I'm a class advisor. We leave on senior trip in 2 weeks. I'm in charge of the auditorium. I'm the auditorium manager. So any event that's held in the auditorium, Mr. Delsea, and choir concerts and plays and assemblies, I'm responsible for. I work in the summer with our extended school year program with ESY, which is for students with IEPs. Amongst other things. I'm always trying to make myself known and throughout the building, and I think that's really affected me positively. People know that I'm involved in every aspect of the building and in the district. I try to be on the school improvement plan committee. I work closely with the superintendent on improving the program, and so I think that has set a positive light with who I am, and I hope that when I finish with this school counseling program, it'll help me transition into ideally a job here in the district. And I think that if something becomes available, having this, I know that you don't have to be a teacher to be a school counselor in New Jersey, but I certainly think that having this experience here at Delsea and them knowing me as a person and as a worker, as an educator, it'll help them see me as an asset for a school counseling position. So I was kind of all over the place, and you saw the raw me, but I hope you were able to get a better, insight of who I am, what helped shape me into the type of educator I am, what influenced me as far as my jobs and people with why I want to be a school counselor, and just a little bit about me and my personality. You know about my parents. My sister's in education. She's an administrator down in Millville. I'm married. I live in Pittman now with my husband. We've been married for 3 years. He's in education and coaching. He's a phys ed teacher down in at Millville as well. We have a new puppy. Well, we got him last summer, Golden Doodle. We don't have any kids yet because we're enjoying, like you said, we compared to you and your wife, we have 2 teaching salaries, so we tried to do our best at budgeting and saving. I don't think that you're ever going to be prepared for children, but you know, I have a niece right now and nephews, and we love them, and we're just enjoying each other and our dog and traveling, and also, you know, figuring out these finalized paths for our career. So I'm so excited for this course. I'm so excited. This is probably, besides the ethics class, I really enjoyed that. This one is another really exciting one to me, with the college and career readiness and seeing the impact that school counselors can make on students and their choices. I have a lot of other opinions and insights, but I guess that hopefully the next 5 weeks will allow for that, and we'll have some good discussions in class. If you have any questions about myself, my job, my career path, please email me, or I guess we will talk in class. But thank you so much for your video. It was so great to have to learn so much about you and your interest and path, and I am very excited. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.